it's right. We can talk about anything you like. Just listen. Take a walk right over to my kitchen. What you wanna do? Come mix it up with the stew. So tell me what you wanna do. Come mix it up with the stew. Yeah, come mix it up with the stew.
And welcome to The Stew. I'm your co-host, Les.
I'm Anika.
I'm Janae.
And we have an absolutely wonderful show in store for you. This episode, we're covering Fab Frugal, a little what's gone viral, what everyone's talking about. How do you wind down? But more importantly, what's happening in our neck of the woods? We're trying to figure out what is happening with Baha-Mar and this payout. And I'm hoping Janae could shed some light for us and explain to us a little about what's been going on over the last few weeks. So Baha-Mar, payout, people in a panic.
Well, not so much a panic now. In the newspaper, they said that the money has been deposited.
Okay.
There was a bit of an uproar because some people were supposed to get calls. I think majority of the people were supposed to get calls, I think, last week or so. Mm-hmm. No calls came through. So everyone was panicking, when am I going to get the call to get my money? The story is they were given a take it or leave it, right? You either take your money, what you're owed, all, maybe not all, who knows? That is still up in the air.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they've got to take what they're given.
Yeah.
Another big uproar is the fact that Bahamians have been put first. Let's not say uproar. It's a good thing.
Right.
However, a few people have come out and said, you know what, you guys are now putting the foreign investors, the foreign creditors at a disadvantage in this whole situation. So what's that going to do for foreign direct investment in the future? We don't know, but we'll keep you up to date on what's actually going to happen with this Baha-Mar payout ordeal, right?
Because I just find it so ironic. We're always hearing put Bahamians first, and then on the one hand, there's the foreign is better, but now this is a situation where Bahamians have been put first, but it's a problem. So yes, I'm definitely interested.
It's all a strategy, and I'm just not sure what the strategy is right at this moment. But talking about strategy, Anika, and staying on politics, now the biggest show of it all for me is Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton in the U.S. And I'm sure everyone's been following it because I don't know about you, but I might have to move further away from the U.S. in 2 months.
Right?
In November.
Wow.
The U.S. election.
That time came by very quickly.
It came very quickly.
But I'm anxious for it to be over too at the same time. I'll be real.
I'm very nervous. I am very
we all
nervous
are.
at the end of the
all
day.
Are.
Last week there was a whole ordeal. Donald Trump went on the Dr. Oz show to show his medical records. I'm like, what type of poppy show is this?
His clean bill of health, right? Poking
of
fun
all the things
at Hillary's health because she had pneumonia, which everyone thought she should have come out and said, I have pneumonia. Really?
Could you imagine what he was like in high school, like as
No.
a teenager?
I don't want to imagine.
No, he's a teenager now.
He hasn't grown up yet.
I don't think he's grown up at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting race. They're really playing like these crazy topics right now, health and who could say what to each other first kind of thing. It's not a real presidential race at the end of the day. So one thing went viral last week, which I love, and I agree. I think the U.S. should stay single for a while, learn themselves, see what they like.
Yeah.
And then they could choose a president later.
Don't you wish we could do the same?
Wow.
I mean, we do it, and unfortunately they're in a position where they probably should stay single for a minute, learn themselves, grow.
And you know what? He is just passing on all of his craziness to his children. I had heard a story recently on the news about his son, Donald Trump, comparing Syrians to Skittles. It was distasteful. Skittles ended up coming out with a statement. Yeah. So it runs in the family. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
What can I say?
Didn't a photo go viral the other day?
Yes, so there's a photo that went viral. He met Little Miss Flint, and there was a side-by-side image of Little Miss Flint when she met President Obama in comparison to when she met Donald Trump. And let's just say her facial expression
Pretty much depicts what
priceless.
everybody's feeling right now.
Pretty much. The photo went viral, and much like we expected, people went crazy. People agreed that Little Miss Flint's face pretty much embodied what all of America's feeling. And everyone around the world, when they think of or see Donald Trump, you could take a look at the photo here, but I could not stop laughing. What is his deal?
Trump is Trump.
The kids don't even like him.
Also, another controversy too is how much he's donated, right? And I'm on the side of I'm not sure that I would agree that you need to look at donations of any president or
right.
any.
Why should that be under scrutiny, right?
That was also another big thing. He hasn't donated to his charity in maybe since 2008 or something ridiculous like that.
His charity.
His own charity, correct.
Wow.
That's insane. Well, I just want to take this time, switching gears now, to congratulate the new Miss Universe Bahamas, Sherelle Williamson, who captured the crown this past Sunday.
You gotta do the pageant clap.
Yes.
Is it this?
The new queen.
The new queen.
Congratulations, dear. You deserve it.
She's so beautiful.
Yeah, she
I
is.
applaud those girls who can do pageants. Janae, you've done a pageant before.
She's like, oh, we're talking about this now.
Why are you pulling my files, darling?
Janae was once a beauty queen. We're going to dig up that photo at some point and show it to you guys. Because, of course, what was your favorite thing about being in a pageant?
The dresses.
Yeah.
Being able to, glam up. And the fashions at Miss Bahamas Universe this year. Or is it Miss Universe Bahamas?
It's
Miss
Bahamas Universe.
Okay. But the dresses that came out of the pageant were really great.
Yeah.
I loved Sherelle's dress. Erica Adderley had a Theodore Elliott classic.
In fact, the top 5 blew me away in terms of their fashion. I gotta say, they all looked extremely beautiful and elegant. And speaking of, Emmys also happened this week.
The Emmys.
Ladies.
Yes. Let's talk. Can we talk about the big winner of the night, Game of Thrones? Broke
Everyone
records
knows.
at the Emmys.
I'm a gotter.
Is that what it's called? Gotter?
Well, I just said that.
Y'all need a new name.
But, it's G-O-T. I was just...
No, you'd have to be
I'm a
gotter,
gotter.
darling. A gotter. Like, you got to put on the accent for Game of Thrones.
But yeah, no, I'm so excited. They surpassed Frasier, which is another show that I absolutely loved back in the day. Frasier had the most Emmy wins with 37, and I think Game of Thrones now has surpassed them with 38.
Wow.
They have the most wins for fictional programming, scripted programming. So yeah, way to go.
The amount of people that I know that watch Game of Thrones, it's really blown up, and people really get into it, and
you feel it in your soul, honestly.
What is it? What about it is that gets in your soul?
Well, the thing is, I'm so invested.
How does it eat your soul up?
That's the thing is, that's the thing. I'm so invested now, and I got invested from the first episode and, just really stuck with it. And it was one of those shows that kept me going. And I think the fact that the stories do play out for such a long time, it naturally draws you in because you kind of have to see what's going to happen in the next 7 or 8 or maybe even several seasons down the line, because one season could be one day. Who knows?
Exactly.
But no, I love it. It's great. But yeah, speaking of the Emmys, ladies, as we've mentioned, let's talk about the ladies that slayed. Okay, I gotta say, Black ladies did rule.
Yes, Black don't crack, honey.
Diversity was really big at the Emmys, which I'm very happy about.
They could teach the Oscars a thing or two.
But let's talk. Let's go by. I want to go one by one. Right?
Yes,
so number
please.
1. Regina King. She did win an award
for
a limited series, right?
American Crime, I think it was.
Okay, yeah. But her dress was phenomenal. I thought it was great. She wore, she really embodied Michelle Obama for me.
Yes.
In her little pink long.
And I liked her makeup too.
Oh yeah,
she had a really nice shimmer and sparkle, and her hair was on point. I just thought she was put together so well. And she's another one who's been in the game for a minute, and she does not age. So
none of them has. None of
I
them.
look forward to aging that well.
None of them have aged. I mean, let's move on to Angela Bassett.
I was about to say, especially Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. I think she had the yellow ensemble, and she just her face was flawless, incredible. She
was working.
Anyone who watched it or saw photos, I think gasped when they saw Angela Bassett. Like, can you just age one more year? Or
I know,
that's not a possibility, right?
Yeah. She was awesome.
So she did really well. And then my personal favorite was Kerry Washington, and she wore this black dress, and she's very pregnant.
Yeah, listen, when I saw the photo, I'm like, is she still pregnant or is she pregnant again?
She's pregnant again.
She's pregnant,
girl.
This would be her second baby.
Yeah. Wow. She is. And how old is she?
I have no idea,
but
I know that I think she's in her 40s.
Yeah, she's 39.
Okay. Oh, 39, forgive me. But she is absolutely beautiful.
I gotta say though, I wasn't actually a fan of her overall look. I think it was just the hair for me. She had the hair down and it was a little wild. I think for the style of the dress, that she might have done a little bit better if her hair was pinned up, because the dress accentuated the pregnancy, which was gorgeous and it was beautiful and had cutouts. But I just think for the style of it, her hair should have been up. But ladies, I gotta ask you a question. Kerry Washington, right? 39 and pregnant. In this day and age, it's not necessarily considered too old because a lot of women are having children older, but it brings up a very interesting topic. What about that biological clock? Do we feel the need to give in to the peer pressure? And how do you feel about the biological clock and society's views of when and how you should have a baby?
I definitely do not feel the pressure. I think naturally our parents taught us that, you should work towards having a family and a husband and kids by a certain time. And I've never felt that pressure. I'm not even sure I want to have kids.
And that's fine.
And that's fine, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, and I also never want to put myself in a box where I feel pressure to do it. And if I'm at that stage in my life where I feel like I should have accomplished it and I don't want to be depressed about it.
Right.
So if it happens, sure, that's
what
great.
What Anika's saying is she will regret that baby. It came way too soon. That's all I heard in that one.
Mine today, she don't do it.
Janae?
Well, you know what, ladies? If I may, I will just say this much. I mean, you have any thoughts, Janae, on it at all?
I want you to finish your thought.
Okay, I'll just say this much. I would love to just refer everyone to a Huffington Post article that I came across several months ago. In fact, it was circulating on Facebook. But the article was entitled "Mind Your Own Womb." And to me, this was so poignant because it really... it just spoke to so many aspects of being female and having that peer pressure around you, because it's everywhere. Don't think it's, just based on one particular society or age or race or anything, but a few quick points about what the article was about. It broke down 3 aspects of being a female. A woman that was 30 with no kids, a woman that was 34 with 5 kids, and a woman that was 40 with 1 kid. And basically, if you're, say, 30 and you have no kids, you're hearing don't wait forever, your biological clock is ticking, but you don't know on the inside that this woman might be crying because maybe she tried 5 years ago on her wedding night and she still hasn't gotten pregnant. She maybe cries because 16-year-olds get pregnant without even trying. A woman 34 with 5 kids is probably hearing, oh, why you have so many? You all up in her girl, right? Someone who is 40 only has 1 kid might be crying because her 1 kid was a high risk and is a miracle. And, perhaps her second pregnancy had to be terminated to save her life.
But you know what, Leslie? What's interesting, too, is that in the Bahamas, though, having a kid, especially for men, is like a rite of passage. It's that's a stamp, right? So a lot of that's a focus for me, right?
Yeah.
You as a woman, the pressure is the fact that these men, they can't live life without having a kid. And that's a cultural thing for us, I believe.
Yeah.
And I would encourage women to, maybe take the Anika approach. For me, I'm married, and I feel exactly what the article feels. Some days, a lot, The minute you get married, oh, well, when's the baby coming, you know?
And I'm like, but when you going to babysit?
You know what I'm saying?
I love that the article is called Mind Your Womb.
Yeah, mind
because
your own womb.
Especially in the Caribbean, and we know how Caribbean parents can be. When are you going to have these kids? When are you going to bring me some and probably that's not even a Caribbean thing. I feel like that's something that a lot of parents do, or grandparents or family friends, right?
But you always want to encourage anybody to be prepared, understand what that entails. So
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So ladies, what I think it really comes down to is everyone has to mind their own business. We as women to one another have to take into consideration everyone has a different plan, everyone has a different destiny, and it's really up to nobody to decide when someone should or should not have a baby. Now, I will say that it's in everyone's best interest to be as prepared as they possibly can. And for me, in my humble opinion, that does not include a teenager, because at a teenager, at that age, there's no way that you could be financially, emotionally, and everything else prepared for having a child and bringing someone into this world. So, mind your own womb. And on that note, we'll take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned. There's so much more that we have in store for you right here on The Stew.
Welcome back to The Stew. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have been talking about biological clocks, Emmy fashion, the whole nine, but there have been some other news gone viral over the past week. A 4th grade teacher is catching some heat online because of her full figure and her wardrobe that people are deeming a little too sexy for the classroom. Now, ladies, I know especially with Bahamian women, we can pack a little extra something, not me, right? Because I have the body of like a teenager. However, I've noticed that from the photos that we've seen from this teacher that it appears that she's just curvy. And you can't help being curvy, right?
Exactly.
I want to know, what's your opinion on that?
The whole scenario.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I see it like this. Her only affliction, if you even want to use that word, and I'm just, using that very lightly, is being curvaceous. Because in my humble opinion, her dress isn't necessarily anything that outstanding or that outlandish or that you'll even find in a strip club. It's just that because of her curves, she's filling out the form-fitting clothing a lot more sensuously than, say, someone that was taller, slimmer, and slender. If someone else was wearing those exact same clothes, it would be a non-issue. But because she has the curves, everyone's talking. But I would say this much. If it is something that's against the school's policy and the dress code, then fine, we have an issue. But other than that, if she's a great teacher, if she has a good personality, and if the kids are responding to her, it should be okay.
Do you believe that she was a distraction? Because we saw some tweets online. People are saying, listen, if I was a 4th grader and she was my teacher, I would make flying A's, or I wouldn't pay attention in class.
I don't know. I think her the issue in this case, not her issue, but the issue in this case is her age. I feel like if she was any older, like in her late 30s, 40s, this wouldn't have been an issue.
Really? I feel like people would say you're older, so you should dress more appropriately.
Still raggied her, honestly.
I think a lot more.
Yeah, I think so too, because they would have been saying,
like, girl, you old.
She dressing, she's not dressing for her age.
But was she really not dressing for her age? That's not the issue here. She's dressing.
Listen.
She's not dressing anything sexy on purpose, from my understanding.
But
however, she is a younger teacher.
Right.
And I feel like they're going to rag her more because of that. If she was 40 and set in her ways and we know this is her style. I mean, mind you, I've gone into Sears and JCPenney and I think I see a few outfits that she probably could have chose over what she was wearing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's not her style. Her style is what she was wearing. And if she was a little bit older, I don't think there would have been an issue.
I think that the biggest distraction really is for the male parents. Okay, the female parents think would be a distraction for their husbands. That's what I really think the main issue is here. But I took a look at some pictures on her Instagram page, which have actually been removed. But you know, these things last forever. It ends up on a website. You could still see them. And she loves her body. She's a curvaceous girl. She loves her body. She knows she looks good, and she's proud and she's confident. So
well, I think she's beautiful. I don't know. I felt kind of on the fence about it because I get it. She can't help that she's curvy.
Exactly.
However, I do believe like that dress, for instance, was kind of inappropriate. My thing is, especially depending on your profession, you are required to dress appropriately for the job.
Yes.
And so, yes, you can't help it if you're curvy or if you have big boobs. But if you know that you have those body features, you should kind of, especially as a teacher or if you're working in different places, kind of try to tone it down a little bit.
What she wore, but you know, with a coat that say came down to her, you know, waist or thighs or something like that. It might have.
Okay, this conversation is stressing me out. It's I don't like it. So what I want to talk about now is let's wind down, girls. How do you guys relax now? It's been a tough week already, and mind you, it's only Wednesday. So let's talk about what we're gonna do at 5 o'clock when we get off.
Does it have to be 5 o'clock?
No, I mean, if you get off at 3, honey boo boo, it's your due.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, y'all know TV and film, that's my big thing. So I can sit down and watch TV all day, amongst other things. That's not the only thing that I do. But considering today is Wednesday, I shall be watching Empire. Hey, just saying.
Season premiere.
Premiere, season premiere tonight.
I gotta catch up. I've been missing so much Empire, but I cannot help, obviously, some good Netflix. I have been binge watching Mad Men. OMG. If you haven't seen Mad Men, it is the best thing on Netflix right now. Mad Men and some wine.
Yeah.
For my Wind Down Wednesday.
Yes, there we go. Wind Down.
What about you, Janae? What do you do to wind down?
Well, Anika, you very well know that the only thing that I need to wind down is wine.
There you have
it. And that's it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after this break, Janae is going to take us on a Fab Frugal journey for a little DIY financial planning. You're watching The Stew. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Welcome to the Fab Frugal. This is where I give you financial and career planning guides right here on The Stew. Now, today we're going to talk about DIY financial planning. Here's what you need to do. Number 1, set goals. You want to set a short-term, intermediate, and long-term goal. So right now, what are you going to pay off? In, let's say, 3 to 5 months, do you need to pay off your car loan? Think about it. And long term, do you want to buy a house? You've got to set those goals. Number 2, you need to give yourself a reality check. Where are you right now? Are you in debt? Pay them off. Make sure you start saving today. Number 3, protect yourself. You want to save a few months worth of your salary, and then you want to also protect yourself by getting insurance, for stuff that you know that you won't be able to pay for regularly. And number 4, make money, honey. Think about investments. You want to think about, other income sources that you can be doing. Do you want to start a blog? Do you want to get a part-time job somewhere else? You need to bring that money in, make saving a lot easier, and then that's your financial planning right there. This has been your first Fab Frugal tip right here on The Stew. Stay tuned. We're going to bring this to you so you know how to plan your life just a little bit better. You have been here on The Stew. You don't want to miss it. We have some more after the break.
Janae, I really got to say those were some incredibly useful tips. I love learning how to be frugal in such a fabulous way. Thank you for that, darling. Thank you.
Anytime, darling.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in to our episode today of The Stew. We've covered everything from Donald Trump to Baha payouts to Miss Universe. Congratulations once again to Miss Sherelle Williamson, the Emmys, and so much more. We cannot wait to jam with you for the next episode of The Stew. Catch us on Friday at 1 and 8 p.m. here on Channel 224. We'll see you guys next time.
When the vibe is right, we can talk about